Hi, welcome to a new episode of Just a Judge Girl podcast, and this is my 15th episode, and I want to start this episode with a lyric that really resonated with me, and I already knew this lyrics several years ago, but it didn't really touch me or resonated with me this much. But after time passes and a lot of things happens in your life, it just has a big impact on what I thought about relationship, and the insight that gives to me is incredible, and I wanted to share it with you. But sadly, because the lyrics is originally in Korean, and I know, the power of language is that the power of learning a language is that it really makes you understand what it really means by knowing that language rather than it's translated. No matter how, I believe, whether it is translated in one of the most perfect tools like AI or one of the most renowned and talented translators, it's 100% different. Like, as long as now, if you know the language itself, then it changes completely. Anyway, again, since it's originally from a Korean song, which will obviously written in Korean language, but I try my best to translate it in Korean, which still has the poetic essence in it. So this is a lyric, right? It says, "The people who left my life and the people I have yet to meet, where do passing connections and lingering longing go? My small wisdom cannot know. The only thing I know is how to keep living." And if you're Korean listening to me, and if you are also like in your 30s or 40s, then maybe like I'm in my 20s, and still he is one of the most legendary singers in Korea, who is called Yong, and it is a lyric from one of his most famous songs called 바람의 노래, which means like the song of the wind. And I discovered this lyric by watching his concert video. My dad is a huge fan of him, and just like most of Korean guys in their 50s or 60s. So I was watching a video of his concert while my dad was watching it on TV, and there was lyrics on the screen, so I was naturally reading the lyrics, and I was younger back then, so when I first read it, I already thought that is an amazing lyric, and yeah, I knew that it's gonna have a huge impact on what I'm gonna feel afterwards about relationships. And yeah, I talked about my mother in the last episode. So after letting go and saying goodbye to the people that I loved so much and adored so much, I still find it really hard to accept the fact that people come and go, and I have no power to change that. I have no power towards that. And sometimes people come and they go without me realizing they decided to go and leave me. And sometimes when you're younger, you kind of believe that like there must be a reason why they chose to let go of me or let go of the relationship that we shared. But actually, like most of the goodbyes and breakups, not regardless of romantic relationships or friendship or whatever, it just changes. It just has expiring date, and you really have no power to it. And there's no other way to just accept it and just move on. Or maybe you will linger a bit, but still there's no choice to just accept it and just move on or cherish more with those relationships that still stays with you, and cherish them even more. But anyway, like I wanted to in this episode I wanted to share that this lyric, and the motivation for me to start this episode and actually talk about this topic is that, so because many of my episodes came from my real experience and real insights by me and my thinking and my embarrassing past. So the reason I started this episode is that, so I think it was this one day I was thinking about a certain situation, certain part of my life that was quite emotional, and I kind of naturally thought about one of my old friends, and I lost contact with her for like 4 or 5 years, and I knew, like, in between 4 years I tried to reach out, and I did text a bit saying, how are you, I was thinking about you, how's everything, how's life, but she just read it and didn't answer. She ghosted me. But by the way, she is a friend that I met her when I was 18, 19, when I didn't really know anything about life or relationships. I was quite pure. I was active and very, very positive and enthusiastic, even more than now, because I really didn't know anything. Anyway, she kind of watched me grow and witnessed my heartbreaks and happiness that happened in my life. She was like 3-4 years older than me, and she would have given me a lot of advices, and she would comfort me with a really lovely words whenever I counter with hard things happening in my life or heartbreaks. And even now, when I think about my 18-40 years, myself in college or university, she is one of the main characters in my life, and I was very much influenced by her, and I'll be forever grateful for her love and support and advice that she had given me. And even though, like, being kind cost nothing, but still it does cost a bit of emotional power, and that's a lot. That's big. It's something that should not be taken as granted ever. So since I'm already feeling like I'm really missing this person, I'm gonna be courageous enough to reach out to her, even though we haven't been talking for 4 years, 5 years. You know what it feels like to reach out to people that you've lost contact, and there had been nothing going on around you. There's nothing, like, there weren't any fight, there weren't any argument, there weren't any special occasion that happened between you guys, but you know, like I said it excuse me, like I said it, relationship expires sorry, excuse me. And I felt like I really wanted to talk to her again. I know that I can't go back to the relationship that we already had a long time ago. I really can't go back to what it was like ever, because we all change. I've changed. She has definitely changed, and we just grow apart, and we live different roles, and we live in different places, and we live in different situation in life. So you really can't control that, can you? But I took my courage and reached out, finally made up my mind to just text her. And turns out she did reply, and in a very reserved way. Like, there weren't any jumpy or like playfulness in the text, because of course we hadn't been talking for 4 years. But after texting back and forth, sorry, I have a very dry throat today. Anyways, after texting a bit back and forth, I realised that she doesn't really want to talk to me. Like, she didn't directly told me that she doesn't want to talk anymore, but she, you know that feeling. So it just ended like that. And I think I've matured a little bit, and I've grown a bit when it comes to relationships. And I thought I am pretty okay with letting go of people that I used to love and loved being friend with them, or don't know, in whatever relationship. Because I don't know if you guys have already noticed, it's kind of obvious, but I'm a very, very affectionate person. I get attached to people quite easily, very deeply. It can be one of my weaknesses, it can be one of my vulnerabilities and weaknesses, but still, it is who I am. And I tried pretty much everything to change that, but I guess I was born like this. Anyway, so I just, after the short back and forth texting, and I had that bitterness feelings in my heart, that I just felt like, here we go again. Now I have to accept that we've changed, she's changed, I've changed, and there's nothing I can do. And I've just have to let her go and just don't know, just pray that she'll be happy and content with her life without me. Okay, this sounds a bit toxic, but you know what I mean. And at that moment, I just came to, and this lyric just came in my mind of, like, again, the people who left my life, the people I've yet to meet. Like, imagine, like, I'm only 27 and still I've already met so many people, and can't imagine how many people I'm gonna meet in the future. And okay, so after that sentence, it says, where do passing connections, lingering longing go? Oh, isn't that so beautiful? And it says, my small wisdom cannot know. Yes, oh yes, we really don't know, do we? Like, does human even have wisdom? Come on. Anyways, the only thing I know is how to keep living. Oh, like, how can you believe how beautiful this lyric is? Oh my god, I'm gonna write it in the description below. Yeah, what he just simply say is that even though there's a bittersweetness that lingers after the letting go of the relationship that you've been so cherishing and been so longing to sustain and protect it's gone, but still all you can do and only thing you know is that you just have to keep living, and life goes on. Like all the popular people say, like, life goes on, very simply, but it's very true, isn't it? There's nothing you can do besides just have to keep living. So I just wanted to share this episode that happened in my life that kind of reflects that. I know that every one of you will experience this in your life. Like, again, we really have no power to it, and you will meet certain people and say goodbye to those people, sometimes with a reason, but sometimes without the reason, and that's okay, right? Like, I think I always learn from experiences, and when it comes to relationships, I think it's extremely important to learn from your failures and success. I don't know, like, what is success? How can you determine success in relationship? Can you, like, if you've got married and if you guys been together until either of you are dead, is that success? Don't know, because you never know the real story in that relationship, even though they've been together for the rest of their life. But you never know what's been happening in their relationship. Who knows? So But isn't it interesting that, like, failure, when it comes to relationship, success sounds so opaque and so blurry when you want to determine what success is in relationships, but when it comes to failure, it's so apparent, it's so specific. Like, you can definitely determine the failure when it comes to relationships. Of course, when it comes to romantic relationship, it's going to be breaking up. But I believe there's also definitely a breakup in friendship as well. And I believe friendship breakup is even much harsher and painful and hurtful more than romantic relationship. You know? I wonder how many people can relate to this, but to me, like, friendship breakups were harsher, like, more painful, more hurtful than compared to romantic breakup that I've experienced. Because, like, friendship breakup is triggered by very mild things. Romantic relationships as well, but, like, friendship breakup happens with no reason a lot of times. And again, yes, romantic relationships as well, but, you know, I believe, like, friendship does have a lot of similarities with romantic relationships. I sometimes believe, like, friendships and romantic relationship are kind of equal, you know? Like, if you guys are friends, then there must be a reason that you're friend, which means one of their I don't know, elements could be their personality, or their, I don't know, they have a nice face, or you have a similar taste into music, whatever. There must be an aspect and elements to that relationship that made you guys friends. And there must be another, like, more important reason why you guys been friends for several years, or can be short, but still, like, several years. Because when it comes to breaking up as a friend, it means that at least you guys been friends for a while, and just realize that you guys aren't really a good match when it comes to friendships. So anyway, like, but somehow, like, romantic relationships, I kind of believe that women get over with breakups quite well and quicker than men. And I'm also kind of person who kind of, like, learn from the breakup, again, from the romantic relationship. I learn quite a lot from the breakup of a romantic relationship, and I just move on quite quickly. Again, it's gonna depend on who my ex was, but still, I think I comparatively get over my ex quite well, because I'm already, like, I already have a life that is busy enough and fulfilled with enough by myself. And oh my god, that sounds so, I don't know, how to say it, not rude, but what do you say that, proud? Okay, that sounds a bit, okay, it sounds wrong, but that's how I felt from my experience. But anyway, but friendship breakup, I don't know how to articulate this, but it's so painful, because, you know, like, the romantic relationship, like, you share so many moments together, like, you share so much emotion to it together. And for me, like, again, friendship breakup was harsher, and for me, it was a lot harder to let go of that breakup and accept and move on. But yeah, since I experienced that, I don't even know if I can call that a breakup, friendship breakup, but still, she indirectly and very kindly showed herself, saying, just conveying her thoughts about me, that she's not very comfortable with me. And like every human being, I don't like being rejected, or I hate the feeling that that person doesn't want me as the way that I do want them. So it hurts a little, and I just wanted to share this very human emotion, very human reaction to what happened a few days ago in my life, and I just paraphrased it into a topic phrase, which is, they say people come and go, but why is it still so hard? Why is it still freaking hard? Oh. and I believe friendship, every relationship has an expiring date. Not everyone, maybe. Not every relationship. Don't know. I just believe that I'll get married to a guy who, like, I'm married to a person and be in love that doesn't have an expiry date. Because, like, for example, like, do you get bored with your parents? Do you get bored with your siblings? Because I don't. Maybe, yeah. But, like, everybody have that love and hate emotions to their direct families, but it's quite different to being bored with that relationships, you know? Maybe there is, but, you know, I think it's really hard to be bored with a relationship like family, or I've never been married, but do you get bored with a partner? Like, I want to ask to a couple who's been together for like decades and decades, I want to ask them, maybe you guys been struggling a lot with maintaining this relationship, or you guys might had a lot of like thousands of arguments, and like maybe you guys I don't know, ended up crying, and I don't know, like shouting to each other, like those scary like arguments that never end. But still, like, I think it's really hard to be bored and kind of get in to see that relationships become tedious. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I thought about that, and like I said it, like, I believe many of relationships have expiring date, and I think my relationship with her that I referred in this episode is that has expired after, I don't know, like 6 years or 7 years of knowing her and being friends with her. And frankly, it is sad, and frankly, I hated the fact that I got rejected. I don't know what I'm not sure if that is the better word for that, but you know what I mean. And, you know, again, because almost everyone who had friend or had a partner would have experienced this, or will experience this, I guarantee you. I'm so sorry, but it does happen to you. And yeah, it sucks, but there's no other way to just accept it and move on, and just wish them luck, wish them their happiness in their life. And I just wanted to like emphasize the fact that like this experience that I had in this week is that it just reflects three things. Is that first, not every relationship ends because someone did something wrong. Of course, yes. If you are like a teenager, you might get like angry about how is that possible? Like, how can relationship ends? Like, sometimes like when I was in middle school, I experienced some friendship that I just ended very, very naturally. But very suddenly as well. Maybe they've hated me with something happened between us, but I can't remember. It's so long time ago. Anyway, again, first one, not every relationship ends because someone did something wrong. Sometimes it just happens, and yeah, it's not the best. It quite sucks, but there's something magical element to relationships, because we are human being, we feel things. And I heard like people have 1,000 thoughts every day, and honestly I think it can be more to certain people. I really believe do. I really do. Anyway, secondly, sometimes time itself changes the relationship, and I am quite sure that a lot of people can relate to this. And yeah, just time itself changes the relationship, and there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, it happens, and it's none of your guys' fault. It's none of your guys' fault. It just happens. And thirdly, people grow in different directions. Yes, like we move to a different place, we move to a new jobs, or don't know, like different venues in life. And I think that's why, like, I cherish my old friends so much, because even though we've experienced totally different places in life, circumstances in life, or experiences in life, somehow we still gather and talk and hang out. And isn't that amazing? Like, even though it is getting less and less, we're getting less and less chance to see each other in person, but still we chat on messages, and we still call, and we see each other whenever we go to each other's places or cities. So isn't that amazing? Like, no matter what happened to us, which is completely and totally different, still we are choosing each other. And I think that's what makes those kind of old relationships so romantic. You know, you guys chose each other, even though we've experienced different things and we grow in different directions. And I find it very, very romantic. So yeah, I wanted to share this about my experience and my very humane thoughts and very humane emotion that I felt this week. And yeah, all you can do is accept it and move on. But it's still hard, isn't it? And I know it's going to happen a lot in my life in the future, but I guess it is kind of emotion that I won't be able to accept it and move on very quickly or be cool about it, even when I become like 60s. Because again, age really doesn't matter when it comes to emotions, or when you're dealing with relationship, which is very, very personal. And yeah, and I just want to share this. So I guess this is the end of this podcast about this episode, and thanks for listening in. And I recently received an amazing and beautiful, very touching email from one of my listeners for the very first time. And again, by receiving such an amazing email, I really want to again encourage you guys to write me an email, because it's so touching, and it really melts my heart, and it gives me a courage to continue this podcast, even though I chose myself to do this without any like money or reputation, whatever. I just purely doing it by my motivation and my thoughts and my choice. But still, oh my God, it really made my day. And I know that those kind of emails are gonna be the motivation for me to just continue, and not only with my podcast but about my life as well. So if you do have an idea or insights about specific episode, or I don't know, overall, you can just talk about your life in general, because I can consult. I can just listen to what you think about certain things. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I hope we can see each other next weekend. So bye bye, love you.